And my apologies. I actually forgot to press the record button for this video. Okay, so I'll just talk you through basically what I wrote down. So I'll just be continuing my discussion on stem cells. Okay. Now, when a human embryo is a few days old, okay, it contains cells that are called pluripotent. Pluripotent means they're capable of becoming any one of the 220 cells, different cells in the body. Okay, and these cells are known as embryonic stem cells. Embryonic, why? Because we're referring to an embryo. Okay. Stem cells are great because they allow us to repair and regenerate. So, they allow for repair and the regeneration of tissues. Okay, and in the late stage of the embryo, okay, as it gets older, the cells then become differentiated. That means they become they sort of become changed into something else. Okay, they change into something else. They become fixed. Fixed, for example, they only become skin cells, or they become nerve cells, or cardiac muscle cells, stuff like that. So in pictures, let's say you've got a 5 to 7 year old a 5 to 7 day old embryo. That embryo contains stem cells. Okay, develops stem cells that can make it into different other cells, different cells like nerve cells, blood cells, bone cells, heart muscle cells, and skin cells. So they're stem cells. So embryos. Now, in regards to infants and adults, so infants and adults can develop what's known as adult stem cells, and they can be used in things like bone marrow, in the brain, and in muscle. So bone marrow is basically, so if I was to cut apart a bone, right, cut it into two, basically the soft spongy tissue in between, and that's used in things like the hip and thighs. Bone marrow, okay, can be used for cartilage cells, for muscle cells, for fat cells. Adult stem cells can be used in the brain for brain cells, nerve cells, and blood cells. They can also be used for muscle cells, okay, made into muscle cells, blood cells, and fat cells. And as I mentioned, they're great for curing disease and injury, okay? For example, leukemia. Now, leukemia is a blood cancer, right? And it can be used, stem cells can be used to repair and regenerate tissues, okay? Because leukemia attacks almost everything in the body. It can be used for bone repair, right? To be made into bone cells. For nerve cells, okay? They can replace neurons. Neurons are nerve cells, remember? That are damaged by spinal cord injury, such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, okay? And so that's stem cells in a nutshell.